So I thought it would be fun to do this because Bea has been with us for over 5 years now as our news editor. And at this time of year, she's looking at the trends for next year. And I'm usually looking at the trends coming up through the Innovation Awards. And there's obviously some crossover in between those. So I thought it was interesting when we were talking about it. I thought it'd be interesting to actually do this as a session. So just a little bit of background about Blue Loop's news. So Bea, every day, Bea shares 12 stories a day, and those are sort of 4 items, kind of like I've done it in more depth, and 8 links as well, which we use to kind of link to reputable sources. So I think I've just done some calculation. I think that means, Bea, that you share about 3,000 stories a year on Blue Loop on a newsletter, which is quite a lot, really. And I didn't know if many people had, maybe I'd urge you to look as well at the other attractions news. I thought it'd be interesting actually to say, Bea, that how you choose the news stories every day, what you look at.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I log in and I start looking, and I spend about an hour and I look through, probably at least 30 stories a day, across the whole industry, theme parks, museums, zoos, immersive cruises, which is now big for us too. And I will go through various, ways of finding the news. And then I'll probably have around, between 5 and 10 possible articles to write, and then I'll pick, from them which one's the best. And how do I choose that? Really, I'm looking for new developments, expansions, big investments, innovation, trends, and big brands I'm into at the moment. So really, the most interesting and innovative stuff coming out in the industry is what I'll go for ultimately.
Yeah, and absolutely. And I think it's worth saying that none of this content is paid for or has any advertising attached to it for us. And we don't do rumors. We tend to check sources and things, and we'll always kind of prioritize trends as well. So rather than just do every ride opening, we'll look at sort of try and pulling out some themes, I think, as well, or anything that is new, I think, and interesting.
Cool. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, and a Bea is at the moment, I think, how many trends pieces do you do? Maybe 4 or 5?
I do, 4 per year basically now. A main trends, which is, everything which will cover the whole industry. And then I'll do an immersive trends, because immersive has become so big in the last couple of years. We now do a separate immersive trends article. And then sustainability, again, like very important across the industry and all industries at the moment. And technology trends, which always needs to be, I suppose it's just so big, it's better to keep it separate.
Yeah, and lots of interesting stuff going on as well. Lots of, when we think, tech seems to be a natural thing for innovation, I guess, isn't it, really?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so keep an eye out for Bea's features, which will be coming up. So I thought we kick off, and I thought the way that we'll do this, we'll look at kind of what's in our news, and then we'll look at what's in the awards categories as well. So first off, immersive, obviously a huge trend, but I think it covers so much. I thought it'd be more interesting maybe if we pick out some kind of maybe smaller trends or things that you won't have seen in kind of generally in this kind of presentation before those, not cropping up as much. So first off, gaming brands. So would you like to just describe what we're seeing here, Bea, on this one?
Yep. So here we're talking specifically actually about gaming brands rather than gamification, which is also a big trend in the industry at the moment, meaning interactive, or getting involved with the experience. But yet gaming brands specifically is say recently the biggest ones are Nintendo and Minecraft. When it comes to Nintendo, obviously we've got the Super Nintendo World expansions at Universal Parks, which are in Japan and Hollywood, and coming to Epic Universe, which is obviously the biggest theme park news of this year. Donkey Kong Country is the expansion of Super Nintendo World. So even the Super Nintendo World expansion is already being expanded to include another key game. This will have an innovative coaster, like in the game where it seemingly jumps over gaps. And Nintendo's also opened a museum, its first ever museum, which was big news. And as for the Minecraft theme parks, that's a partnership with Merlin. Merlin's former CEO said in a press release, Minecraft is the best-selling video game of all time. And we don't know a huge amount about what Merlin's going to be opening. But it's going to be an investment of more than 85 million in 2 new attractions in the UK and US, powered by digital technologies. So, of course, there will be interactivity.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting seeing how that goes through. And then we've got a couple of others. Just maybe quickly, I think Little Lion has done quite a lot, I think, with gaming, just a couple of titles from that. They did Tomb Raider, obviously, before, and now they've got Pac-Man, it looks like. So that's in partnership with Bandai Namco. That's
right.
And then the Disney one as well is interesting, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Disney has invested for a stake in Epic Games. And again, we don't know a huge amount what this will involve, but it is a big partnership between Disney and Fortnite, Fortnite's creator. And also this week, we've seen that Sony is planning an immersive experience based on The Last of Us, the video game, which is obviously huge news. And I believe that it's going to even have smell technology involved in this, which is quite cool.
Look forward to that, I think. But then looking forward, so what we can do now is look at the Innovation Awards. So we've seen a few gaming brands coming in, which is interesting. Brands obviously very big generally, I think, for location-based experiences, but particularly these names. So Zero Latency has done this kind of very cool experience based on Warhammer, which is obviously a huge name at the moment, really popular. That looks really cool. And then I'm told that this is PUBG Battlegrounds World Agent. So this is from Triotech. And again, I think that's like a kind of precursor to Fortnite kind of experience again. And then another couple we've seen before with Monterey Bay Aquarium, but Animal Crossing, I think, lends itself really well to kind of aquariums. So I think there's the Coex Aquarium, which I think is a Merlin site, who have brought in this Animal Crossing crossover. And then we've got Dove Robotics have created this Angry Birds immersive attraction as well. So we're definitely seeing gaming brands becoming more used and more kind of relevant, I think, in visitor attractions. It's obviously quite difficult, I think, to kind of make an attraction from a video game, where there's kind of like not a kind of single linear story. And I think that's the other point I was going to make, was that I think just slapping an IP on something, on an experience, isn't enough to give you a gaming experience. So I think what Bea was talking about before about the kind of gamification of experiences. If we've got loads of entries around competitive socializing. These are a couple of fun ones. There's Beat the Bomb, which has a lot of like fun games, and then you get sort of splattered at the end with paint, which is always fun. And then Gel Nexus, they've created this laser blasters, and there's lots of kind of technology around the laser blaster itself, which allows you to change the functionality of it and also work out who's actually shot who and things. So lots of really cool stuff. So definitely look at those categories, because there's kind of a lot going on there. Okay. So our second section is AI, which is just everywhere, isn't it, at the moment? So I could have chosen loads, but I've just chosen these two, so Six Flags and Disney. And maybe Bea, if you tell us what they're up to.
Yes, absolutely. Yep, Six Flags is big news in AI and parks. It's very focused on the guest experience. It's undergoing an AI-driven digital transformation, Some highlights here include a digital concierge powered by generative AI, and that's called Missy 6, the world's most comprehensive AI drowning prevention system at Six Flags Water Parks, which is really interesting. That's being used for safety as well as the guest experience. And then what else have we got? Yeah, also Disney is embracing AI, obviously. It's created its own a new business unit to explore the use of the emerging technology and others across film, TV, and theme parks. And yeah, I think that's all I need to say on that.
Yeah, I think it's just we're starting to see. I mean, this year it's been everywhere, AI, hasn't it? Not just in our industry, but people are just, including us, are just trying to learn how we can use it, how it can help us, what it means. But really interesting times. We've also had the Blue Bot was also launched this year, and he's doing quite well on search actually. So I'd encourage everybody to try him out on the blooloop site. So just really interesting times seeing how AI is going to permeate. Definitely seeing a lot of it in guest experience to start off with, but it's going to be relevant for almost every area of operations, I think. And then in the awards, just echoing that, we're seeing it come in sort of for queuing, for imaging, chatbot kind of relevance, and then sort of like for a kind of a docent system, sort of going around giving personalized information for sort of museums as well. So it's really sort of, again, seeing that same thing of AI. I think last year we had lots of AI solutions, but this time I think people are kind of understanding more fully what we can do. So it's kind of interesting times, definitely.
Yeah.
And then the next one, I think we have robots everywhere now, don't we? I think from being rarely seen to again, like just really lots of uses cropping up here, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, one of the most interesting ones is the yellow robo dog that you can see there, which is Blenheim Palace, and that is being used to monitor the effects of climate change on the estate. So that's an example of tech for good in the visitor attractions industry. Otherwise, robots are being used as an attraction, to get guests to come. And also for operations as security, as sort of ferrying bits and bobs around services. We've seen a lot of robots actually in recent years.
Yeah, I think so. And even that top right one, that's kind of the kind of robot and AI, sort of creative robot artist Ada out there. And we've got Disney Gold Cards. Yeah, so lots of we've seen lots of applications there. I've not seen any flamethrowing dogs yet. I think only robots for good at the moment, I think.
Exactly.
And I thought I would just put these in because I just happened to be looking at the CES kind of robots at the moment. So interesting, lots of kind of cute robots there of varying usefulness. I think that's the top one is a little cat robot that can blow and make your tea cooler, and then the bottom one is a little cute one that turns around when somebody speaks to it, and then the dog is actually kind of realistic sort of pet companion, I think from Jim Henson Studios actually. So that's kind of an interesting take, I think. And then I saw this story as well. I think it's not necessarily the case that robots are always replacing people. So this is a story from Japan about a robot cafe, and these robots are actually controlled by people who are not actually in the cafe. So I think it's answering a problem maybe in Japan about a declining workforce. So one of these robots is controlled by somebody, a Japanese national who's living in Switzerland, who's working in this cafe. But there's applications as well for maybe people with disabilities to take part in the workforce. So it's kind of I thought that was kind of an interesting take on it.
Yeah, remote working robots, staff. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah. And then these from the awards, we've got two robots that kind of speak to those themes actually. So the one on the right is a sort of robot guide in a museum, where the robot part of it is supporting the kind of AI on a tablet to kind of deliver personalized information. And then the other one, which I would urge everyone to check out, is the WDI bipedal robotic characters, which are just super cute. And the interesting thing about these is that they were created from scratch by a team of 8 in a year because of Disney's research over the years. So they've created these little characters that are kind of super cute, who have learnt their kind of their behaviour from animation in a really clever way, but are actually operated by puppeteers as well. So they've got this kind of learned information as well, and then they've got overlaid on that. They're controlled by human puppeteers from a game console as well. So I thought that's kind of really kind of interesting. Disney leading the way as usual, but shows where we're going, I think. Really interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, number 4 is cruises. Cruises everywhere, Bea. I think we're seeing a lot of cruises at the moment, aren't we? And a lot of innovation there.
Yeah, we are. Cruises, next generation cruises, or floating theme parks. It's a massive trend. Disney today has actually unveiled some more information about its cruise expansion. It currently has 6 ships, but will soon offer, soon, I say soon, by 2031 or something, will offer 13 cruise ships. We see on these ships top deck coasters, robotic thrill rides, water parks, from companies like MSC Cruises and Disney, Royal Caribbean. It's all very, very interesting and very fast growing by the looks of things. Very quick expansions for all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very interesting times, and also like private islands as well. I think we've got and Disney and others doing a lot with sustainability as well. So yeah, lots of innovation going on. I think it's really, really interesting times.
That's right. Some of Disney's new ones will be more energy efficient as well.
I think they're smaller ones. I think
smaller and more energy efficient. Exactly. Yeah.
So as you'd imagine, we've got quite a lot of entries from cruise lines as well, and just covering sort of, again, we're talking about water parks and theming. We're talking about sort of thrill elements as well. We've got immersive dining, and then we've got this fabulous sort of currents bit on the Carnival Jubilee, which is using a lot of AV screens as well to create a really immersive environment, which is really, really interesting. So again, immersive, getting everywhere. Okay, now this is an interesting one. I think we both like this one. This is wellness, isn't it? And we're seeing a lot of interesting stuff happening with wellness and crossovers into attractions.
Yes, and yeah, that's it. It's quite a fast trend actually. It's sort of either immersive or innovative wellness. So some of it's combining immersive art or immersive sort of sound and light and stuff with your health treatments or your aquatic sort of therapy, and then others are sort of tech driven, so using AI. There's robotic massage, there's an AI driven virtual wellness assistant that's Red Sea Global spoke to us about, and one of the most interesting concepts to come up is Subversive, which is from Meow Wolf co-founder, and that will be an immersive spa. So we'll see that soon, hopefully.
I think so, and that's as well. I think we've seen as well that I think there are other people who've done that. I think Team Lab has done
Team Lab, yeah,
doing something similar, and I think there's some like other bathing houses I think I've seen in the States doing something with immersive. So, yeah, so really, really interesting. And of course, museums as well, well placed to get into kind of a wellness trend with kind of like calm experiences and yoga and all kinds of things. And immersive attractions as well. Like, I think Frameless has done yoga classes as well. So
absolutely. And you could also incorporate, wellness food and beverage into an experience as well, which we're seeing more of now as well.
Yeah, I think any kind of hotel places as well, I think expanding their offering as well into this area is really interesting.
Definitely.
But yeah, to watch out for, I think definitely Therme doing a lot, and Red Sea, I think as well. Really interesting stuff what they're going to do.
Yeah, definitely.
So we hadn't really got directly kind of a wellness entries, but I think when I was thinking about this, I think there's quite a lot this year. This is almost sort of transformational experiences, and I remember seeing Joe Pine talking about this, about experiences becoming transformational, and I think we've seen quite a lot of that in some of the entries. So just looking at a few of them, like Journey of the Pioneers, there's kind of a reflection room in it, and there are lots of our entries that are sort of connecting people with nature. for like around sort of climate change and biodiversity loss and things like that. So lots of that sort of is creating kind of a deeper connection, some kind of like transformational experience, not just a kind of a going having fun going on a coaster experience. And then as well, kind of going slightly on from that as well, I think we've seen some of the experience like Rumble in the Jungle. I think as well taking kind of stories from a different angle to kind of transform your kind of subverting your sort of expectations what the story is about. And interestingly, the International African American Museum, in that people can go and look up their family history as well. So really kind of a deeper experience, I think, and I think one that maybe speaks more to this kind of wellness kind of personal improvement trend, I think, maybe.
So it's an experience that you leave and you have transformed your body or mind or both.
Yes, I think. Yeah, that's. I'm struggling for words. That's why you're right to be in. I think. Cool. Okay. So and finally, so I thought we could look maybe at sort of crystal ball time and look a little bit further in the future and maybe trends that maybe we think may be coming. More or less, definitely, I think. The first one I think is really, really interesting is ultra accessibility. So I think when we think about people with special needs, we often forget that they've got their families as well. And I think they're not necessarily being catered for in our kind of experiences that we have at the moment. And this is kind of so it's a huge market, I think, that we're not serving very well. And it's really interesting. We've got Morgan's talking about in the inclusion session, but they're doing a kind of a new hotel, which will be ultra accommodating. So I think this is going to be kind of lead the way, I think, and show what can be done, I think, and show that it can be commercially successful as well. So I think Morgan's always the forefront, but I think this is going to be. I think I've heard of other. I think we talked last year to Michael Collins from LDP, and he was talking about ultra accessible developments as well. So I think it's something that's kind of something that is happening.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
And then we've just had this news. I just saw this news this week, Bea. This is about the UAE giving permission for their first vertiport in Dubai. So this is electric flying taxis. And then I'd looked as well, I'd seen these kind of like electric airships, which are going to be, I think they're going to be coming, and they fly, this flies slower, but they fly to kind of lower altitude. So almost, I think there's kind of going to be an application like for almost cruises, like flight cruises. I think you're going to be able to see a lot more of them. So I think that's really interesting to me. I'm not quite sure how it's going to impact, but I think it's definitely going to change the way we move around and we experience travel. So
well, look, theme parks are massive, so if they can make it easier to move around, then maybe this is the way.
I think it's going to be interesting. And also drones have taken off massively, haven't they, over the years? And these
we're going to see more drones for sure.
These sort of flying taxis are just flying drones, aren't they? I guess bigger scale drones.
People drones.
People drones. Okay, I like this one. Pets. I don't know if this is just a UK thing, but I think in the first year of the pandemic, I think it says 3.2 million households acquired a pet. And with Brexit, I think it's harder for us to take our pets abroad. So a lot more people are looking to take their dogs with them as well. And I've found here that booking.com now, also some places also allow cats and rabbits as well in their accommodation. So this idea of people taking their pets away with them, I think, is going to be a big thing. I know that Haven Holidays, which is in the UK, they've seen a big uptick in pet-friendly breaks, and they have these kind of like agility courses for your dog now. So I think this is going to be an interesting thing to watch, because I presume that if everyone's taking their dogs with them, then when they go out for the day from the caravan park, they're going to want to take the dog with them as well. So maybe creating places where dogs can go, and also maybe where there's merchandise, F&B as well for dogs.
Exactly. Well, ultra accessibility for dogs. No, but it's true. Allowing entry to pets. It might have to open up a bit.
Or agility parks as well. Maybe something like especially for your dog as well. I think. It's
It's tailored for. I like it.
grooming. Drop your dog off while you go around the theme park and have your dog
That's
groomed.
good. Yeah.
Actually, I did see a pet wellness program as well at a spa.
There we go.
So,
yeah. So you open that alongside, yeah.
And then we were really excited about this in about 2022, space tourism. And then it's kind of seems to have gone off the boil a bit, doesn't it, I think? But maybe with Elon's new job, maybe this is going to be more to the forefront of what we're doing. So I'm not suggesting that everybody is going to be able to afford, I don't know how much, I can't remember how much those breaks were. They like
I can't remember either, but it's a lot.
A lot of money, isn't it? But maybe it's going to filter down in terms of sort of themes or in terms of visitor centres, something around space tourism, maybe.
Yeah. I think actually, they need to make it a bit more affordable, actually, don't they?
Yeah, I don't know. I suppose it's going to.
I found a seat on SpaceX's orbital spacecraft costs between $50 million and $100 million.
Yes. Okay. Well, not tomorrow, but I don't know. But I think there's some people who are doing kind of like kind of lower altitude flights and things like that, aren't there?
Yeah, exactly. I think those are more affordable. That's a particularly expensive trip.
Yeah, but I think just the themes around sort of Mars colonization and space and sci-fi, maybe that's going to become more prominent, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely.
And finally, lots of stories on sustainability. We cover this quite a lot. I think I would check out the entries again and check out the session we've got here, and also encourage you to come along to Green Loop, which is our sustainability conference, which is online in May, and in its 5th year. But yeah, we have lots of sustainability stories. I think, don't we? We've
lots. Yeah,
we just covered it. We talked about cruises, but we're seeing lots of innovation, but obviously lots more needs to happen as well. So watch the space. I think there's
definitely.
Good. Okay. So thank you. Thanks, Bea, for joining us and giving us your insights. And thanks everyone for watching. So you can, as we said before, you can vote on your favorite innovation. Do that in the booths on the website, on this site that we're on now. You can also check out the full details about the innovations, which are permanently on blooloop.com as well. Look out for Bea's trends. And twice, sign up to our newsletter. Sign up twice to our newsletter, in fact.
Yeah, exactly. Trends are coming imminently. So all good.
Wonderful. Yeah. Thanks everyone. Thanks, Bea, and bye.
Thank you. Brilliant. Bye-bye.